Hello, Craptacular. You are now flipping over to the B side.
Hello and welcome to a special holiday edition of Cinema Craptacular presents B-Sides, where we dig through the streaming pile of reindeer crap that the internet has to offer to find that rare gem, the B-movie whose heart is 3 times bigger than their budget. And if you're liking the show, please rate and give us a review wherever you listen to us, because it really helps get the Craptacular word out there. This is Dave, and with me are my uncrappy co-hosts,
Tara
and Adam. Santa has come early this year, and he's got a sack full of mayhem for a small town called Hell. It's Santa's sleigh.
Here's how IMDB describes the movie. It's Christmas Eve, 2005, and Santa Claus, Bill Goldberg, arrives into a small town aptly named Hell to check on the naughty and the nice. A deli-working teenager, Nicholas Yuleson, Douglas Smith, finds that his grandfather, Robert Culp, is actually an angel that defeated the devil's son at a game of curling. And the evil creature has to spend the last 1,000 years playing a good Santa Claus, giving toys to the children. Now that the bet is over, Santa Claus wants revenge. Nicholas and his girlfriend Mary Mackenzie, Emilie de Ravin, try to escape from the killer and find a way to stop him until the end of Christmas. This holiday horror has more mid-2000 era B-level stars than a lights on a Christmas tree, including Dave Thomas, Saul Rubinkek, Kattan, Fran Drescher, Rebecca Gayheart, and the uncredited, but not unmissed, James Caan.
Jimmy Caan! Jimmy Caan
James
is in
Caan!
this movie! Jimmy C!
I didn't know he was, because I literally, as soon as this last, frame, I stopped this movie. But I was like, James Caan wasn't credited? I didn't know that.
I googled it because I was like, because I couldn't find his name on IMDb, and I googled it, is James Caan in Santa's sleigh, and it said he appears uncredited, which was awesome.
When was Elf made?
2006 or 7?
Elf?
So, yeah.
I thought it was later than that. Anyways, I digress.
Here's why, is because I'm wondering if the producers saw James Caan in Santa's sleigh and they were like, get him for Elf. Because no one captures the Christmas spirit like James Caan taking a turkey leg to the throat.
You mean the, grumpy Christmas spirit. You mean,
right.
Yeah, like he's going to be our foil, but we're still going to root for him a little bit, but he's also an asshole.
This opening scene blew... I'm sorry, could we just talk about the opening scene for a minute? It blew my mind. I had no idea all these people were in the movie.
I didn't either. I mean, when it opened up, I was like, is that Kattan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
That's exactly what it was like.
But it's funny because it's like it was all those actors, but then the lighting's really bad and the sound is off, and I was like, wait, are we watching a weird rehearsal version of this scene?
It was like the stage play. You can
Right.
see the flats of the set.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away because as soon as I saw Kattan, I was like, wait, is that Kattan? And then Fran Drescher, I was like, hold on. Is this the Sharknado of 2005?
Ooh, good call.
Right? And then James Caan just blew my mind. I did not understand that at all. They were like a bunch of rich, snobby, bitchy people at Christmas dinner, like a horrible family.
Yeah, also, they started off with some really nice racism, where it was the one of the daughters is saying grace or whatever, and she's like, "Thank you for making us rich, and also thanks for not making us Samoan." And then Kattan looks at Fran Drescher and he's like, "What's Samoan?" And I was like, "Oh my god, guys, okay."
Yeah, here's my thought process on this. So the director of this movie is a guy called David. How would I pronounce that? Steinman?
Steinman, I think?
Steinman. Let's say Steinman. It's his only writer-director credit.
There's a good reason for that. Good reason.
Oh, he should not have just one movie.
Hold on. Wait for it. Prior to this, all of his experience is as the personal assistant to Brett Ratner.
That explains so much. And I remember seeing Brett Ratner's name in the credits.
Yes.
He produced this. He's one of the producers.
Yes,
Yes.
he totally produced this. And I'm sure he called in a bunch of favors to make this movie happen with all those stars. And I have no idea. This is covering up something. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's got something on Brett Ratner.
No. This is money laundering 101.
Oh.
They were like, this set cost $100,000 and it cost $50.
Right.
And they're like, this prop cost $200,000 and it cost $50.
I don't know if
my
you guys
God.
know, but a tailored Santa suit is $1 million. It's very
Yeah, that's exactly right.
expensive.
I mean, if you get like Gucci to design it, it is.
Well, in fairness, Goldberg is not a small man. They probably had to stitch several Santa suits together to fit that dude.
When Santa comes in and just starts murdering this family,
Just
it's just
murder.
like
Yep.
classic horror slasher kills where it's like each kill is a unique and different way. He like uses the ornaments, he uses the turkey leg, he kicks Chris Kattan into a display cabinet, which was fun to watch. I realized right away though, this is directed not like a horror movie, but like a slapstick comedy. It had the bright lights, the angles, the way they delivered each punch was more like a joke than an actual punch, and I really appreciated that. That from the get-go, it's like, here's Elf meets Halloween.
I was on board like for that idea, and that's what I saw too. I was like, okay, except you could tell, and this was 100% throughout the entire movie. Every joke that they tried to be like, here's a joke, here's the punchline, were like either offensive, not funny,
so
or
offensive.
just like not just like legitimately. Even the actors, you could tell there was a few that they were just like, and then I'm gonna say this line, and it's like, it just was like it was the person, the director writer thought he was funny. He thought he was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and clever.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say, when the film started, I didn't see the trailer. I didn't see anything about it. All Tara sent an email and said, "What about Santa's sleigh?" And there was a trailer, and it was Slay, Slay, and I was like, "I'm in."
Yeah, it's
And
free
then
on Tubi. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, done and done. And then right before I started it, I was like, "Oh dear Lord, what have I done? Did I get us into something that's like, is this going to be the worst movie ever?" And I'm going to spoiler alert. I don't think it was the worst movie ever. There's like 100 million worse movies than this one.
I completely agree with you, Dave. No, I'm backing Dave on this. Like, was this movie outstanding? No. Was it very offensive at times? Yep.
Yes.
But it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
That's
and
a
I've
really
seen-
high mark, you guys. Not
Well,
the
considering some of the
worst thing
movies,
I've ever seen.
we've seen some pretty bad movies.
Yeah,
on
we
this
have.
show. And
We
I
have.
don't think this is even in like the bottom 5 of the worst movies we've seen on doing this podcast.
Oh, I would put it in the bottom 5 for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, listen,
are
like-
you a Grinch? Are you a holiday Grinch, Tara? Can you,
guys,
not
I am-
enjoy
I am-
this?
I am the Grinch that sold Cinema Craptacular. I stole it. It's being sealed. But like, there's a couple things that I was like, I just want to point out like a couple jokes and then an observation, right? So they're talking about like, first of all, Robert Culp, amazing, right? How'd they get him to do it?
Yeah.
And like, he's also he's just a scary grandpa roaming around the basement. Like, I don't understand he was just like down there inventing. And then he was talking about like his inventions, and it was like, oh, that's why brown colored toilet paper is such a bad idea. And then I was thinking like, wait, why is brown colored toilet paper a bad idea? Isn't that I was like I'm just trying to think the logic through that joke.
You're right. This is a movie that makes you think, Tara. You're right. This
Isn't
is a
it?
movie that really makes you think.
It makes you think like you're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. It makes me think that doesn't make any sense. And then my favorite thing is that like he's in a basement, but then he has this big ass bunker inside the basement, which I was like,
Yes.
okay, fine.
And which is new to the house. The kid comes home. I forget it. What's his name? The Nicholas comes home to his grandfather's house, and he goes inside and he's looking around, and then his grandfather pops out of nowhere in the basement and is like, "Hey, you want to see something neat? Look at this!" And it's like a 10 by 10 bunker behind a door, like a giant submarine door. And the kid's like, "When did you build this?" Did you not notice you lived there, kid?
Again. Yeah, you go, wait a second, what?
You know, I'm going to say this. Douglas Smith, who is the kid who plays Nicholas, I felt undercut this movie, like cut the legs out from under this movie so many times throughout the course of it that it started getting on my nerves because, here's the thing. You jump into this movie and Goldberg, professional wrestler, is Santa, and he's murdering people ad nauseum. Just, doesn't matter who dies, everyone dies. And you've got some serious talent in this movie, and he's starring opposite of, what's her name? De Ravin?
Emilie de Ravin. She's great.
Who was super hot at the time because of Lost. Like, everyone knew who she was. And then, you're doing scenes with Robert Culp, who's playing and this kid was just playing it like he's, like a whatever, teenager.
Well, he was also playing it a little bit like he was, aware of the joke of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
In the sense, like, he kept saying things like, how'd you ever expect Santa Claus to come, like, charging into your house? Or, I thought this was going to be a bad day when all those people died. And there was just these lines that called attention to the fact that he was in a movie.
Yeah.
And I reacted to that as well.
But I will say, I paused this movie at about 22 minutes in.
She has time code!
I know, I did. I paused it in at like 22 minutes just because I had to go to the bathroom or something. And I realized when I got up, I was like, I don't know what the plot of this movie is at all. Like, lots of things have happened, but I don't know where it's going or why I'm watching it. I know Santa's a murderer, and all he does when he shows up is murders, but there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason for it. He's just murders. So it's like, what is this movie?
I did not know the plot of this movie until this morning when I stole it from IMDB. And I was reading it, I was like, oh, that's what's going on. Because you get about 30 minutes in, and that's when the curling scene is. And they do this flashback that is...
weirdly animated. It's like weirdly animated. You know, it just comes out of nowhere. There's been no animation up until this point, and then... It's this weird,
and then it's Rankin Bass animation.
But that's what it was.
Yes.
They were calling back to the Rankin Bass. Like, okay, so fine. You were trying to do Christmassy tropes. I get that part. And I actually think that's kind of the best part of this movie, is that Rankin Bass.
I agree.
Fun. It was fun.
Anyway.
It charmed me and brought me into its fold and was like, Dave, here's something for you. Let's have some fun. And I was like, okay. And then maybe the rest of the movie did not pay that off.
Right.
But anyway, the grandfather, in this animated scene, the grandfather beats Santa Claus at a curling match, which I thought was kind of hysterical. And therefore, Santa has to be good for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And let's face it, this was Santa is supposed to be Satan's son.
Correct.
How egotistical is it of Satan to just switch some letters in his name and name his kid Santa? Because any normal dad would be like, "You're Satan Jr."
He's Satan.
Oh, that's a good point.
Come on.
You're right.
I mean,
I didn't think of that.
You have to go with Santa sleigh logic, and that's about as deep as it gets.
Yeah, Santa's sleigh logic. There's a lot of that throughout this movie. Like, there is a scene where, for no reason whatsoever, there's a whole full-on choir in the middle of the square doing the bells. They're all just ringing bells, and supposedly it's a song, and there's 3 people watching this 50-person choir ring bells in the middle of the day. It's a very odd movie in that it was clearly like, okay, and then... it's winter, so we should do a snowmobile chase scene. So let's do a snowmobile chase scene with explosions, and then and then let's have a Native American who has one of those electronic things because he smoked too much and he dug like this. And I'm like, what is going on in this movie?
Yeah, I also like that. So they go to that strip club, and there's a preacher who hangs out at the strip club. It's like, okay, all right.
Dave
fine.
Thomas, right? Isn't that Dave
Thomas?
Thomas?
Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, right? And then so Santa Claus...
Not the founder of Wendy's.
No. Not allegedly. Allegedly not the founder of Wendy's.
Allegedly.
But when Santa comes in and is gonna murder everybody, and I'm like, why are you killing all the innocent strippers? Why are we I don't understand what these strippers did. They're not supposed to earn a living? What did they do?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just working class, upper Midwestern women, this is Minnesota, Wisconsin. Do we even know where this takes place?
Minnesota,
God
Wisconsin,
knows.
Canada,
Hell,
They're
it's Hell
living their
Township.
best life.
Burbank.
Yeah, could have been a little bit of everything. But yeah, you're right. Tyler. Like he kills indiscriminately, which actually bothered me. Like if he had just stuck with murdering assholes, I would have been fine. But then he goes and kills national treasure Saul Rubinkek, which is just not something you do at any point in time. That man is a treasure.
Listen,
he kills him with a menorah.
It doesn't matter that he gave his employees a clock and a snow globe as their Christmas gifts, right? Which were like, which also I felt like I was like, okay, are we trying to be like, he's greedy and Jewish, so he doesn't give good? I was like, I don't like. There's so many like overtones. I was like, ugh.
No, I definitely think he was the hero of his
greedy.
Scenes. Yeah,
I just think it was he was. He didn't know what a good gift was.
Yeah, I mean, I totally think because he was the hero in that scene with the crotchety old lady.
Right.
Remember, like, because that's how that opened up. So, like, they never really painted him as a villain at any point in time.
No, but I just think
it was
yet
so...
again. I don't know. I'll get back off of that. I'll get back on it.
Oh no! There was horrific overtones in this movie, and undertones. This was tonally under and over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Succinctly said.
When the cops, after Sal is murdered, first of all, Santa comes into his store and Saul kind of flips out and starts throwing dates at Santa that break the window.
It was an odd choice for him to fight Santa. I didn't really see that. Like, you don't look at Saul and go like, oh yeah, don't mess with that guy. That's not.
And then Santa kills him, and the cops come. And that's where it started getting shady racist, where the cops were making these comments and you were like, let's just go ahead and cut this part of the movie out.
It's funny
let's
because
Walmart this one.
One thing I wrote down is I think he said something like "you people." Like I think there was a reference, like they were like "you people," and I was like, "You guys, this was 2005. This was not that long ago. Like what?
Right?
Ugh." That's all I have to say. That's my comment.
There were definitely
on
moments
just,
in this movie that made me
creepy
feel
crawly.
gross.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys, you're not the worst movie. Not even in the bottom 5, really.
Still not in the bottom 5.
Don't you remember that movie, the journey to the
center of the earth?
No, that's like number 1. That's like number 1.
Bubba the Redneck Werewolf.
Also, like number 3. I give that number 3 or 4.
At some point, we're going to have to do a retrospective where we rank some of these movies.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Still waiting for someone to beat Velocipaster, because for me, no.
Oh,
That's
but
the whole reason I still do this podcast.
We haven't talked about too, like the fact that Santa's sleigh is pulled by a buffalo. I think it was. Is
Or
that,
like a bison or something.
It's like a bison.
A bison.
I was like, I also thought like, well, that's not like an evil creature. I just think like that's very sensible. That's a very strong animal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's
much stronger than
reindeer. Sturdy beast.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you only needed one bison. Like needed the other Santa needs 12 reindeer. This guy economized. He was like one bison that eats valets from stripper clubs. So really,
that's right. That's true. He did.
Yes.
I forgot. That's right. He goes, what? He's like, the buffaloes or the water bison's like, "Rah," and then he like spits out the hat or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, he ate the bouncer. Got it.
But you know what? You know what made me stupid, angry, unnecessarily in this movie is so they do a moment where they're about to get away from Santa. Like Santa's kind of got him cornered, and Robert Culp stands up as Grandpa, and he's like, "I'll hold him off. You get out of here." And that's when the bison comes from behind and just runs over Grandpa. At which point, Goldberg makes the joke, "Oh, Grandpa got run over by a reindeer." And I'm like, that's not a reindeer. Like,
it's a bison.
Work a little harder, people. Come on, like, put a little effort into these jokes.
Well, no, then there was the line in there, Christmas can scare the dickens out of you. And I was like, no, it cannot. Stop it.
He's reading a Christmas Carol. Oh. The whole reason they went into the library in the school was so that they could make that Dickens joke. Yep,
correct.
The whole reason.
Yes.
I actually believe that's the whole basis for this entire movie. Is somebody said that. Somebody said that to Brett Ratner's assistant. And he's like, oh, that's my movie. Because Christmas gets everything dickens out of you. And it's like, okay, cool. Maybe a funny joke to you. God, now I'm getting mad.
This movie, Santa Claus, what is it, Bill Goldberg as Santa Claus, came across as Dave Bautista and Jeff Garlin had a baby, and he became an actor.
Hey, Craptaculars, we'll be right back. And now, back to the show.
I don't know why. There was just this essence of Jeff Garlin.
Okay.
Yeah. I buy that.
Now I'm not a wrestling fan. Dave, are you a wrestling fan? Tara, are you a wrestling fan?
I know who
No.
Goldberg is. Okay, so my brother was a big... I watched, like, WWE growing up, and then my brother did. So
Right.
I know who Goldberg is. And Goldberg was, like, a big wrestling hero at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know who Goldberg was, too. What I was surprised about, and maybe I just missed them, were there other wrestlers in this movie?
I don't think there were.
I don't think so.
And again, maybe I
Right.
missed them, too. So,
And
I don't know.
What's interesting is that, like, WWE has their own, like, production line. Like, they do their
Correct.
own movies. I mean, it's how John Cena got his start, right? Because he was in those
Yes.
Marine
Yeah.
movies. And so I'm
The
wondering, I'm
Rock.
like, right, The Rock. I'm like, does this predate, like, again, you know, did the guy who's in charge of WWE, whose name I'm slipping my mind right now,
Vince
just saw this
McMahon?
movie and was like, Goldberg's got the right idea. What's his name?
Vince McMahon.
There it is,
right?
Vince McMahon. Yes, thank you, Tara and Dave. Yeah, did you see this movie? It was like, Goldberg's got the right idea. Let's make some racist Christmas movies. And then someone was like, well, what if we did, like, action movies? And he's like, even better. It's like,
Even better. I mean, Andre the Giant was in The Princess Bride. So I think having wrestlers in your movies goes back well
Yeah.
before this.
oh,
But
of course.
I mean,
of
Hulk
course.
Hogan was in everything, and like they
Right. But I
who
felt
didn't
like
want
He was
Hogan
even in the
anything?
Rocky.
Right. But I feel like Goldberg, like, was a later star in WWE. Like, at least...
Yeah.
Yes.
He would have be a peer of The Rock, right? They were kind of roughly in the same class.
I think they were. I think so.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
so.
remember. We're really
Rock
getting
maybe
down.
a little earlier.
We're really getting down to.
Yeah.
I think what the thing is about this movie is the most fun part of this movie is that Santa is this fun murderer, right? And I believe everything Goldberg did, and I thought his
Yeah.
right. If you only gave him the right information and motivation, then we're going to be on board. And if you give us the actual story of why this is happening before 35 to 40 minutes into this movie, then maybe I get it a little bit
Yes.
more. Because
Yep.
I was just like, what? I don't that opening scene
Well-
can stand as long as the next preceding scenes have something to do with it.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but it's
hey. Oh, sorry. Do you guys think maybe they filmed that scene first, and they used that scene to raise money for the movie?
100%. Now that you say that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that
totally
makes
agree.
complete sense to me, right? Because
Yep.
they use that, and and then at which point the guy David's like, oh crap, I got to write a script, you know? And then, they tag that movie onto the beginning, and they start, that scene onto the beginning of the movie, and they start with the little, weird relationship between Douglas and Emily, and then they're like, oh God, how do we justify this whole movie? And that's when they kind of loosely tie in the Satan, Santa, angel thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought was kind of fun, the bet between the two. But I did think it was going to go they do have to play the game again.
Right.
And but the game doesn't seem to really matter because Santa cheats and Robert Culp is thrown into hell or something.
God knows.
And Santa gets away. I don't know where to. I feel like I'm dictating. I feel like I'm telling you about a dream I had when I was 6 years old. Right? it makes about as much sense.
It makes
But-
about as. Oh, by the way, can we just so the movie ends right with it's a mislead in that you think that they've killed Santa, but they haven't killed Santa, and what happens is this cop shows up with one of those giant buzzsaws that the cops or the EMT sometimes use to cut people out of cars, and they look down at Santa's body, and it's actually David
Thomas.
Thank you, David Thomas in a different Santa suit. At which point, I immediately expected Goldberg to pop up behind the cop, grab the buzzsaw, and start cutting people down. But no, they then cut to, like, Santa getting a plane ticket back to the North Pole, and the Douglas kid being like, "I don't think this is over." Like someone said, we got to keep this universe going, you guys.
First of all, Dave Thomas is impaled on a flagpole. It's all the way at the bottom, and the pole's coming up through his chest. And when the guy with the EMT saw came, I thought for sure, the idea was, oh, he's going to cut the pole, and then they lift the body out. I thought he was going to just start cutting the body into smaller pieces to get it off the pole, which would have been awesome. The other thing is, apparently, there's a coda scene at the end of the credits, and I just found out this morning, and I forgot to look it up.
God.
And now, so I need to go back and look at the scene at the end of the credits. Even when I was watching the credits, I was like, is there a scene at the end of this? I doubt it. Off.
You know what I hope it is? I hope that scene is James Caan coming back to life.
Yes.
Being like having choked on a turkey leg, now he's the embodiment of Thanksgiving, and the sequel is going to be James Caan versus Goldberg, the turkey versus the claws. I would totally see that movie. I would see that movie in a heartbeat. Done.
That's-
Brett
You know what
Ratner,
I
call
thought
me.
was
Call
going
me,
to
Brett.
happen?
Brett, call me. I got this. I got this in the bag, Brett.
Hey, Ratner, you have some money you needed to move? I got a movie for you.
I think we're not allowed to talk to Brett Ratner anymore, guys. I think we're done with Brett Ratner.
Use
I
your one
think
phone
it's true.
call. Give me a call.
What I thought was going to happen at the end of this movie, because the kid was named Nicholas, because his grandfather was so kind of tied to Santa Claus,
Yes.
it's because he has this girlfriend. I thought, okay, this is the origin story of the new Santa Claus.
Yes.
Yep.
And Nicholas was going to take up the mantle and become Santa Claus.
Correct.
Okay, so cut to 5 years from now. Nicholas has been doing this for 5 years. He is Santa Claus when Satan Claus comes back, and he's like, I want my old gig back. And it's
Nice.
like,
Right.
there's chase scenes with like the 8 reindeer and his 1 bison through the sky. Christmas is in danger. Goldberg Santa is just killing families every time real Santa Claus drops off gifts. I'm writing it now.
Well, wait,
Wow.
see, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. The kid, the Douglas, the kid who played the lead there, Douglas. I'm terrible.
Fairbanks.
Thank you. That's him. He was not. I didn't root for him once this entire
No.
movie. Like, I did not want him
No.
to take on Santa because I'm like, yeah, Santa's gonna kill that kid, and the world will
Let's
be better
hope
off
so.
for it. Yeah, the
Let's
world will
hope
be better
so.
off
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, like Emily, you can do so much better. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
She's
You-
hot.
She was better off on that island, which was maybe purgatory. Who knows? I didn't watch the finale.
God knows.
It's like so, Dave. I love the idea of that, and part of me wanted that kid to become Santa, and at the same time, I didn't want that kid to become Santa because as the audience, I was like, wait, that guy's Santa Claus now? Like, I don't want him coming to my house.
I felt better about Bill Goldberg on a leash.
Yeah, totally.
Of
yeah.
kindness and cheeriness. Okay, so here's my pitch for the sequel.
Okay,
Oh, God.
Colin Hanks plays Santa. He is Nicholas.
go on.
Colin Hanks, come on.
It's a solid
recast
pitch.
Colin Hanks.
Solid pitch. Who would play the wife, the Emily?
We'd get her again because she was good.
Oh, okay. wait,
Yeah,
wait.
no,
Is Goldberg
I think
still?
this.
Wait, is Goldberg still like evil Santa?
Dave Bautista takes over the role.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought Goldberg. That's very cruel of you, Dave. I thought Goldberg
Yeah.
did a good job. Now to give it to Dave. Dave's
he
very
did
busy.
do a good job.
Dave's very busy now.
That's
I
true.
just think
And
that
we'll
like,
bring back Goldberg. Bring
Like
back
this-
Goldberg.
all right.
this experience for Emilie de Ravin was so bad. She's like, you know what? Send me back to this desert island that no one knows about.
Yeah.
That has like a polar bear on it. That's gonna have the worst ending to a
Yep.
TV show
I-
ever. Send me back there.
Okay.
I have to say though, throughout the whole movie, she really was there. She performed, and she brought something to it. Whereas Nicholas was a little bit like, am I in this movie really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
and
like,
that
"I'm
kid's had a big career.
Yes,
That
he's
kid's
been
had
in a
big
ton of
career.
stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
recognize him right away. He's done a ton of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
Maybe
did
it was
not.
just badly directed by that guy who wrote the movie.
Guys, there was everything bad
he
about
was
this.
he was still Brett Ratner's assistant while he was directing this movie.
I bet he
This
was.
guy-
I
Guys,
bet
cut,
he was.
cut! I have to take a call.
Hold on.
Hey, Harvey
hold on.
Weinstein.
Excellent, Dave. Excellent.
Time.
Thank you.
That was really good. It was good. I feel like I can't talk about this movie anymore. I feel like this movie.
Yeah, I feel like we can rate it.
Yeah, let's rate it.
Okay, so here's our rating system. We have a 3-tiered rating system. The top is Cinema Craptacular. This is the best. Next up is Craptacular. Pretty good watch on a Sunday afternoon if you have nothing else to do. And third is Utter Crap. This is just ignore it, and it will go away, like the brown spot on my chest.
Dave,
That went dark.
Happy to go first, because again, I do feel some responsibility because I don't know how I found this movie.
You foisted this movie upon us,
I
so
did
it is
foist this
all
movie.
your responsibility.
I am the foister. That is clear, and I would like to foist it from whence it came. This is just utter crap. This is just the worst of the worst. It is definitely it's borderline unwatchable. And I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason that none of you have ever heard of Santa Sleigh before. And that's what I'm going to say. Don't.
How does it feel to always be on the island of wrong, Tara? Is it tough? Is it tough?
Wow.
Wait a minute.
No matter what you do, you're wrong.
So Dave, wait, what are you rating this then?
Okay, you know what? All through this movie, I was like, I don't know what to rate this because it was either Craptacular or Cinema Craptacular. Because I was entertained, and to me, I'm gonna say this, like Velociraptor. This movie is like the perfect Cinema Craptacular movie because it is so terrible yet so much fun.
Oh no,
But
Dave, no, it's not.
Let him finish.
But here's the thing: the first 30 minutes had me. The last 45 minutes, I started wandering around. I will, out of respect for Tara, I will give this Craptacular. I think it's worth if you're. Because I lowered my rating.
How dare you? It doesn't respect me by lowering your rating. How dare you? So rude.
But I have to say, Craptacular, I do think this might be a good watch on a Sunday afternoon. And yeah, it doesn't survive well from being offensive. It's very offensive.
Very offensive.
And I always find it shocking that we were like, oh, that's kind of funny back in 2005, but now it's like it still bumps you. It's not good.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So
not good is the key phrase there, Dave.
Yeah. All right.
No.
Okay. To tie a bow on this rating.
All right, Adam.
I was going to give this movie a Craptacular rating when I first started watching it because I thought there was a lot of opportunity for comedic hilarity, and I kind of tried to overlook some of the raunchy and inappropriate humor that occurred, very offensive. But to be honest, it's the lead that cut the whole thing out from under me. It's why I'm going with
Nicholas.
utter crap. Like, because if he had doubled down, if he had been in this movie, I probably could have overlooked some of the very inappropriate jokes. And like, there's one point in time where Goldberg just grabs a stripper and starts kissing her. Like,
Yes.
You know, moments like that. I could have been like, 2005, Brett Ratner. All right,
No.
no, but the fact that kid was not in the movie, he was just like there for a paycheck, I guess. Like it's utter crap. It's not a good watch. I'm Team Tara with this one, Dave. Sorry, bud.
Well, you know what? That's
have to say,
okay.
too,
I'm going to celebrate
something
Christmas on my own.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to add that I didn't say, because I didn't want to reveal it till the end. I fell asleep during this movie no less than 3 times. And I had to wake up. And I was so just like, this is... Like, that's why... I mean, I couldn't even think about Craptacular as a rating. Because I just was like, this can't even keep me awake at like 9 p.m.
I have to say, when I watched this movie, I watched it in about 5 sittings. I watched the first 30 minutes completely enraptured, and then I watched it in 10-minute breaks.
Yeah.
Which kind of helps the movie be better, because you walk away from it, and then you come back.
You know what? It's because that at that point, you're just making up your own movie.
That's true. You're surprised by the cast every day. Oh, Saul Rubinkek's in this? Awesome. Robert Culp's in this? Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us on this holiday B-side Cinema Craptacular journey. This is Dave, and ever present with me are...
Oh, boy. Tara.
And Adam.
Wishing you all a safe and craptacular holiday.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yay.
Yeah, he didn't... I think he only said ho, ho, ho once, and it was when he was referring to the strippers in the club.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
was referring
right.
to the strippers. Yep. As it should be for this movie.
Thanks again for joining us on our Cinema Craptacular Presents B-Sides Journey. Subscribe to Cinema Craptacular on iTunes or Spotify. And if you weren't totally offended, or even if you were, please rate us on iTunes. It helps us get the Craptacular word out there. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @Craptacular.